Hello, I'm Neil McGregor, and I'm delighted to be introducing The Huge History Lesson, a new initiative between us at the British Museum and our friends at TES and Arts Council England. We've invited schools to help students to explore objects, and through objects to find out more about history, and above all, to understand better the world now. Looking closely at a thing that humans have made and used allows us to ask all sorts of historical questions, whether it's a 500,000-year-old tool from Stone Age Norfolk, a Roman board game, or a photograph of a unique Edwardian girl. And perhaps one day, our everyday objects will be in museums of the future. What will they tell future generations about us? But just remember, the more you look at an object, the more you'll discover.
Exactly. This is all about historical inquiry, getting to grips with history through object-based learning. And we hope it's going to inspire you and your class to get out there, visit local museums, and discover world histories for yourselves. You can go online. Now, take this helmet over here, for example. But you want to choose something that really speaks to you.
This is one of my favourite objects. I think I like it because it's so mysterious.
Well, you can start to unravel that mystery by looking closely at what the object tells you. Start with perhaps looking at the materials it's made out of, or what it looks like, its shape and size. Here you can see it's made from shiny metal. Now that's probably going to be silver and gold.
And can you see those tiny garnets?
I know, they're amazing, aren't they? They strongly suggest that whoever owned this helmet was rich and powerful. I think it's also safe to say this person was a man.
Why is that?
Oh, he's got a moustache.
It's quite easy to see what this object was used for. It's a helmet, but for other objects that can be more difficult. I think the next thing to do in our investigation is to see what other people have found out about this object. It's really old, so we can't interview the person that owned it, but if other people have done research into this object, we can build a clearer picture about it. Where did it come from, and how did it get to the British Museum?
Well, you've really got to tell people what you've observed, and then you've got to back it up with evidence.
Yeah, and there are loads of interesting ways that we could do that. We could use technology creatively and make a film or an animation.
Or you can use your words creatively, like this poem I made about a Benin bronze. I used to live on the wall of a palace until I was torn off in malice. The figure adorned in the attire of a king headed the great African empire of Benin. Two of his subjects are either side of him. He's standing there kneeling right beside the king. He's depicted in the center as bigger than everybody because he was an emperor figure. The smaller figures in the background of the image are European traders. I remember those guys. They were Portuguese, always caught disease in a scorching heat. Yet they were guided through the king's court with ease to negotiate the purchase of pepper, gold, and ivory. Oba was happy to export these commodities, but as for me, I was never told that I could leave. Everyone's got a different way of telling stories.
This object is a bit newer than George's. It's only about 100 years old, and it comes from Russia. It's a dinner plate, and we know that it was painted in 1921, shortly after the Russian Revolution. If you look at the man and the factory, both are glowing. You think of sunrise, a new future. As the man strides forward, he tramples on the word "kapital," written in Russian script. Who is he? Is he an individual? If not, who does he represent? What is capital? There's so much to investigate in this image. It connects us to a cataclysmic moment in Russian history, but it also reminds us that people, quite suddenly, can completely change the world. If you're intrigued, you can find out more about the plate online.
Now it's your turn to investigate. Visit a local museum and find an object that really speaks to you. Alternatively, visit the Teaching History with 100 Objects website. Then carry out a historical inquiry and let us know what you find out in your own special way.
You can respond however you like. A video, a PowerPoint presentation, a podcast, a comic strip.
You can do whatever you like to get the point across. It's the idea that counts.
The students with the best ideas will have the chance to tell the world about their chosen object.
To find out more about the competition or submit your entry, go to tes.com/hugehistory. Good luck!